I'm a firm believer that good photographers don't gatekeep, and so I'm going to tell you all about the different ways that I bring in business for my studio. What's up guys, my name is Barrett. I'm a wedding photographer here in Central Missouri. The first way that I bring in business is with my website. This is done by using search engine optimization to help your website make it to the top of different search engines like Google, Yahoo, Bing, and other websites like that. The second one that I use is a service called Thumbtack. Thumbtack is a great resource for a lot of different people who are hosting as services or vendors, not just for photographers. I have a love-hate relationship with Thumbtack. Their billing is a little different than most lead sources. They bill you by the lead. And how they think its pricing is structured, it's not a set number. So you may pay $5 for a family photo session lead, and I've paid over $100 for a single wedding lead. It all depends on what they think the value of the shoot is, as well as the likelihood that they are to book with you. The third one I use, and it's a little bit controversial for some people just because of the price that comes behind it, is WeddingPro. WeddingPro owns The Knot and WeddingWire. They are the largest vendor hosting site in the country for weddings. The pricing for WeddingPro is a yearly contract, and it's when I booked mine, I spent a good 3 hours on the phone with one of their marketing agents trying to come up with an agreeable price on it. And I'll be 100% transparent, I pay a little over $400 a month for this service. It sounds like a lot. The payment for my brand new Volkswagen Jetta is less than that, but it is an absolute huge asset to my studio. I was very hesitant at first, but kind of thinking about it, if I brought in one job a month off of it, it's still paying for itself in the end. The next one I use is social media, Facebook and Instagram ads. You can have an ad that's targeted specifically to people who are recently engaged, and it will show up on their feeds when they're scrolling, on their desktop, as well as even on their Instagram feeds and they're going through stories and reels. It's a pretty good resource, it's cheap, that's my favorite part about it. I can run an ad that will get in front of 20,000 people for a week straight and spend 50 bucks. That's my favorite part about it. You can get really detailed in it. If I want to book a certain type of shoot, I can go through that targeting in it and make sure that the ad is catered towards the clients that I think will book that shoot. And the final, and honestly the most important in my opinion, ways that I bring in business is through referrals. That's friends, family, past clients. They're a huge asset to a business, and it goes a long way with booking clients because there's a personal connection that you have with them. Whether that's previous couple that you had shot their wedding, they're referring a friend of theirs to you, or it's your cousin's getting married or your sister or whatnot. It's a great resource to have. So number one, WeddingPro is my top lead source. I get the most leads from WeddingPro, and that's not just leads I receive, that's also counting into my conversion ratio and how many of them I get. Number two is my website. My website brings in a lot of traffic based on the way I've got the SEO set up in it, and I didn't hire anyone to do it. I just spent a lot of time researching it and just trying to learn from my mistakes. And it used to be that I would get maybe one or two a year, to be honest, off my website. And after spending a lot of time detailing it, I'm now bringing in several leads a week. I've gotten multiple a day before. It's not out of the question by any means. Number three is referrals. They're my third highest in terms of how many leads that I get in, and it's not just from previous clients, it's also I've counted there like family and friends and people that I know personally. The number four for my leads is Thumbtack. Thumbtack is, like I mentioned, it's kind of a love-hate relationship with me in that app, but I don't take it for granted, and it's one that can be a really, really good resource if you use it correctly. The messaging system inside of it's not bad. I think there's some ways it could be improved, but it ranks number 4 for me. And number 5 is Facebook ads. Facebook, Instagram, social media ads. These are not just people coming across a post on my feed and then messaging me that way. These are targeted ads that I'm using to try and bring in revenue, get more clicks, people to fill in quote requests and book through that way. In terms of my conversion ratio, my overall conversion ratio, taking in the 11 or 12 different ways I can determine the lead source, my overall conversion ratio is about 60%. So that means for every 100 leads I get in, I'm about 60 of them that are booking with me. And that's not just for weddings, this is also for family photos, commercial work, and other stuff like that. The conversion ratio for my referrals is 100%. Every referral I have been sent has booked with me. And I think that says a lot about the value that comes with those leads. Those are the ones I put a lot of effort into because I don't want to lose that 100% conversion ratio. In terms of sales, the average conversion ratio in sales is about 30%. So to have a 100% conversion ratio in that really says something about the value behind those leads. Number 2 on my conversion ratio is my website. I also have almost 100% conversion ratio with my website. It's a great tool. People they spend a lot of time on my website, and with my tracking I have through my site, I can see how much time certain IP addresses spend on my website, and if they fill out a quote request form or a contact form, and they're spending 6 to 8 minutes on my website, which may not sound like a lot, but if you think about how much time you spend on a specific website when you're doing a search to try and find something, that's a decent bit of time. The third on my conversion ratio list is my Facebook leads. These aren't run all the time, and I'm encompassing all of my social media stuff in there because I've got one tag I use on my CRM for tracking that. But Facebook, Instagram, even Messenger has ads they can post on there. It's ranked number 3 with about a 50% conversion ratio. Number 4 is Thumbtack. Thumbtack has a 30% closing or conversion ratio for me. I think the biggest part of that is it's so convenient for clients to shotgun their information out to a bunch of vendors. So it can kind of be information overload if you're on the other side of that. So it kind of makes sense why the conversion ratio is a little bit lower for them. And the final conversion ratio I've got here for you is WeddingPro. Even though it is ranked the highest for me on lead sources, I do have the lower conversion ratio on that one just because I get a lot of traffic from there. And same thing with Thumbtack, it's pretty easy for them to go reach out to a bunch of different vendors simply by filling in their information and clicking a button. So it makes sense. I still highly value this lead source just because of how many leads I get from it. And it's technically coming from 2 different websites, the Knot and WeddingWire. Thanks for watching. I would love to hear different ways that you guys bring in clients for your photography business. I'd also like to know if you guys use any of the ones that I've got, and if you have any different answers. Some of you I'm sure may have a great closing ratio on WeddingWire, so any advice, I'd also appreciate it. I'd love to hear any questions or comments that you guys have. You can leave them down below, and I'll see you next time.